First, I'm going to ask you a question you're not supposed to ask. We're going to talk about age. You don't have to give it up. You don't have to tell me. But who do we have that's 14 to 24? Show of hands. 2 or 3 of us. Who do we have that's 25 to 29? All right, and you don't have to say it, but do we have anybody over 50? Yeah. All right. The reason we're separating into groups is because, including me and the ladies that were in the 14 to 24 group, 45% of you statistically have an STD. So there's enough of us in the room that one of you has this particular STD. The rest of you, 25% chance you have that STD. So there's enough here that one of you has that STD. Statistically speaking, 50% of all sexually active individuals will have this STD at one point in their lifetime. 80% of women will have this STD by the time they're 50, at least once. Does anybody know what STD I'm talking about? It's the human papillomavirus, known as HPV. Some people call it genital warts, but that's a little misleading because typically genital warts is what they call asymptomatic. You don't know you have it. It doesn't actually produce any warts. You have this disease and you just don't know. It's a DNA virus, meaning it actually affects the genetics of the area that's infected with. There are more than 100 types of HPV. 37 are sexually transmitted. 12 to 19 of those types are considered high risk. You can have multiple types, so I mean, if you want to get a collection going, I'm not going to advise it, but you can. They're typically gotten through direct sexual contact. You can, however, give them to children during birth. There are instances, supposedly, as to where they can be given through semi-indirect contact, such as somebody touches genitalia and then touches another person, transfers it that way. It can take up to a decade to find out that you have one of the high-risk types. And the key thing to know about those high-risk types is, according to professors at Oxford, published in the International Journal of Cancer and Centers for Disease Control, 90 to 100% of cervical cancer is caused by HPV. The American Cancer Society says it's 100%. There is no one out there that will tell you they have found a case at this point that was not caused by HPV. No one has any case evidence that anything but HPV is the sole cause of cervical cancer. Now, men, don't feel left out. 70 to 90% of anal cancer is caused by HPV. 40 to 50% of vaginal, vulva, and penile cancer caused by HPV. 12% of oral and throat cancer caused by HPV. So this disease that we're so likely to get causes these things that it'll kill you. The thing is, we have a solution now. There's a vaccine out called Gardasil. It's just been approved by the FDA. At the moment, only women that are 9 to 26 years old can take it. It will not cure HPV that you already have. HPV will go on away on its own, but it doesn't always. And when it doesn't, it results in those cancers. It specifically prevents 4 types of HPV that are high risk. It prevents 90% of the types that cause the embarrassing genital warts, which is what is in most people's minds as a worry. And it prevents 70% of the type that causes cervical cancer. It's 3 simple injections over the course of 6 months. That's it. They're doing research to find out whether or not it's safe to use in men. Men are less likely to contract the disease, and obviously less likely to get cervical cancer. The treatment at current costs about $120 a dose, so $360 total. If you would compare that to the cost of getting cancer or losing your life to cancer, I'm sure that you can see the benefit. Not only that, as the warts go, I can't imagine the horrible embarrassment. So the benefits are really there. It has side effects. 84% of people had pain at injection site. 24% had swelling at the injection site, 25% had redness at the injection site, 10% reported fever within 15 days, but 9% of people that get a placebo injection report fever within 15 days. So as you can see, those side effects are extremely minimal. That's the shortest list I've ever seen for any drug in my entire life, let alone maybe water. Water can kill you. Don't underestimate it. So, to finish, there are all sorts of reasons to go out and get yourself vaccinated, ladies. There's also reasons to tell the people in your life to go get vaccinated. Surgical removal or using freezing techniques to remove warts, they might come back. Embarrassment. More importantly, the cancers I listed, the most important, that 100% of cervical cancer is caused by this disease. The American Cancer Society estimates that last year, 9,710 women had cervical cancer that was newly detected. 3,700 of those women died. The fix is easy. 70% of it goes away if you get this done. 3 easy shots. The detected number of cases of cervical cancer goes down to 3,000, and the deaths go down to 1,100.
Questions, please.
Is there any vaccine on the horizon that you've heard of that would work for older people?
There's one other vaccine that's currently in testing. However, Gardasil at current looks promising to be used on women that are above 27 and possibly on males. When I recently talked to the Porter County Health Department again about it, and their opinion was that it is possible it will be available even for males. So there's another vaccine out there, treats the same strains of HPV, and they're not quite sure who they're going to approve it for yet.
Is that because they have not completed the test cycles yet?
Yeah.
Those older groups?
The thing is, like I said at the beginning, you're looking at, in age 20 to 24, you're looking at a 45 to 55% chance you have this. 14 to 19, you're looking at 26% chance you have this. So they centered around those age groups, and that in 14 to 19 particularly, to be preventative, to try and stop that. Because if they can get that age group taken care of, that's a huge amount of it, and it, by proxy, it's going to take care of it as people get older. The current research that they're doing is for those later age groups. It's just that obviously it's slightly less prioritized.
Any other questions?